welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Nikki. I'm a homeschooling mom to an only child. Today I want to tell you all about kind of like our year-end reflections on our second grade year. But we are in collaboration today with Davine over at Calm in the Chaos and Shauna at Homegrown Homeschool. Lovely ladies, and I've worked with them many times. So please check out their channels, as we are all going to be telling you about our end of the year reflections, and I will have them linked down below as well as a playlist. So let's just dive into it. I have a lot to say about our second grade year. All right, so first things up, this year, oh man, I'm pretty sure our word of the year was adventure. Pretty sure we nailed that. We took lots of trips, constantly doing things in the homeschool community, and had a lot of adventure. But let's talk about curriculum, how it went, how it didn't go, and everything else. So if you haven't seen this video, I will try to link it down below if I remember. But we started out the year with the good and the beautiful. It was going fine until about midway through the year. And I realized that my daughter's lack of interest started to fade. And then I really started to dive a little bit deeper and take a closer look as to why. Like, what's going on? Why are we having issues? Is it the curriculum? Is it a stage of life we're going through? And it ended up being the curriculum. She told me she's bored with it. It wasn't challenging enough for her, and she already knew majority of the words that the phonics was trying to teach her. So for the language arts, I don't even have the book to show you because I got rid of it already, but we stopped the language arts at around like lesson 60. And didn't look back, honestly. Now, that kind of came as a shock to me, because then I was like, whoa, what do I do? This has always been, we've always used the good and the beautiful for 3 years. Like, what do I do now? And as I was going through other curriculums, I wasn't finding what I needed in an all-in-one, because I just felt like that wasn't going to work. So we basically did some units from Moving Beyond the Page. I did a whole video on that as well. Wasn't really too big of a fan of that, but we went and powered through. We read Poppy and we read Sarah, Plain and Tall. I want to say we read one more, but now I'm not remembering. No, that's all we read. So that kind of took us through the rest of the year until we finished it out. So we've been on our break. We wrapped up the end of April. So when you're seeing this, we're already on break for a while now. But the good and the beautiful is no more. I didn't add in anything else other than those Moving Beyond the Page units, because I just felt like she needed a break, I needed a break, and that was okay to fill in the gaps and not do anything too overly rigorous. Not that the good and the beautiful is that, by no means, but I needed to try to figure out what we actually needed to go forward. So that was the rest of the year I spent trying to figure that out. We continued and finished the year with the good and the beautiful math. I have very conflicting thoughts on this. We're not going to be using this next year. The final assessment in the back had me slightly confused. I did this whole course with her, and I just felt like something was missing here. They had some fraction questions on here, and honestly, I didn't even know the answer, because I felt like it wasn't taught thoroughly enough for us to know the answers that they tried to have her have on the assessment. So it wanted to do a draw a greater than, less than, or equal sign between two fractions. We know less than, equal than, and all equal to, and all that stuff. But as you can see, it is like 2/6 and 1/3. Well, she put a greater than sign in the circle, but honestly, like, she had no idea that 2/6 is equal to 1/3. Without a displayed fraction piece, there was really no way for her to know how to do that. I feel like there wasn't enough prep in the book for those questions, and they had another one, same thing, down below, where she did not know that 4/8 is equal to 2/4. So when I was grading that and I saw that she got it wrong, I was like, wait, like, this doesn't seem like second grade work, for one, and it didn't feel like, it just came out of nowhere, in my opinion. I did not go back to see like where it was apparently taught. I just let her slide and we finished math. We will not be continuing it. As you can see, there is a lot that is on a page for the Good and the Beautiful, which I'm not going to really show you because I'm sure you guys have seen the Good and the Beautiful pages. But it's kind of just like all over the place, and I think it was a little too busy looking for her at this time. And I just want to try something else with her and see if that works. So handwriting, we did finish out the year with the Good and the Beautiful level 2. I mean, she basically completed this minus like 10 pages at the back, which is totally fine. And it works fine. I saw a huge improvement in her handwriting this year. Huge. And I think she did as well. She saw the improvement in herself. We did try to use this handwriting skills book by Zahner Blozer. And she did okay. We did not get very far in this workbook because she didn't need 2 of them. I just went a little crazy with curriculum last year and this year. But anyway, that's the only reason we didn't finish this, not because we didn't like it. She actually preferred this over the Good and the Beautiful, and that is why it gave me a sign to look into Zahner Blozer, because I had really never paid attention to the name before. But they have an entire writing curriculum. So that is what we are doing for next year. If you didn't see that video, it's way back for all our curriculum for next year. We finished off the year doing Evan Moore's spelling. I loved this and I was pretty solid for it the last 2 years, but she didn't want to do the workbook this year. I mean, the workbook is, oh goodness, the workbook is completely empty. And I literally just gave her a pre-test or had her do the first page. And then she, like, these words were almost too simple for her. She rarely got anything wrong. So I wanted to at least use the words from the second grade year, finish it out, and then I wanted to find something different, as this just stopped working for us, or for her. Like, she just got really bored with doing the workbook pages. So if you didn't see, we are doing spelling connections for next year, which I'm super excited about. Unit studies. We tried. We tried so damn hard. But it just wasn't working for us this year. And I think it's because my daughter was going through a rough patch. We had a change in medications and her anxiety was kind of just off the charts. So I don't know that it was necessarily the curriculum itself, but I think it was just that it was an added extra on our plate that we just could not get through. And I honestly, I don't know that it's the curriculum. It's just, it wasn't working for us in the period of time we were in. So I don't have all of it in front of me, but I do have, we did gather rounds around the world. This is the recipe book, but we did the whole unit, or we tried. And I did get the letters that are from around the world from kids from every country. And I tried to be like sneaky and like put it in the mailbox and act like it was actually being sent to her. And she liked it for about 3 or 4 times, and then she just didn't care. And honestly, like I said, I don't think it's the curriculum. I think she was just at that point in time unfocused on anything and didn't have any interest in doing anything because she was too in her head. I really liked it. I want to give it another try. I did order the ornament kit. We did not like the ornament kit. I thought it was a really pain in the butt to put together, but I am not crafty or good with those things, so it could have just been me. But I just, it wasn't anything exciting for her at the time. And again, it could have just been what she was going through, but no way of telling. We did try out campfire curriculums, meteorology. This I could say we did when she was in a good mindset, but I just don't think that the flow of this curriculum is what I like or she likes. It's a lot of reading, and there's so many different things you can add in here. And honestly, it's just, I don't know. I didn't prefer this type or style to a unit study. And I do think that it went over her head, even though I was focusing it on the lower level. A lot of it was just very not understanding to her, even though it was wrote out in like a story format. So we did not get very far in meteorology, her meteorologist unit. Lastly, I have beautiful feet. I really thought we were going to love it. I raved on it, and I thought it was going to be the best thing ever. And for a while it was. But I'm going to admit something that might be an unpopular opinion, but the books bored the crap out of me. The books bored me. We never felt interested enough beyond the books to go into rabbit trails. So that never was a thing. The pictures were cool on the pages. I think the actual guide is a great layout. And this is for the primary grades that we did do. But I don't know, like we basically said, it said finish reading a book. We read it. There was some discussion questions. And then we never did, like, it says have your student prepare an oral or written report on Pocahontas. My kid was 7 when we were doing this. She was not going to prepare an oral or written report on Pocahontas. So we skipped a lot of like the activities in this book. And like I said, we actually only got to Pocahontas, so we only did like about 23 lessons in the book, and there are a lot that we've not done. I mean, 90 something at this point. So we're not going to be continuing that next year, but I don't want to quite get rid of it yet, as I don't want to give up hope too much. But the thing that really worked for us in this is the notebook that comes with it. So it comes with this picture packet, and it's basically like a packet of events from the books that you read, and there could be better coloring stuff, but it's basically like a color this and put it in the notebook as kind of like a timeline sort of thing. So she really, really, really enjoyed that, and that's why I picked this year's curriculum that we chose. But she had a really great time cutting and pasting and coloring the certain events in chronological order compared to this curriculum, and then writing whatever they wanted her to write on the page. So she like, I think that's the only reason why she was really interested in this curriculum, is because she got to do this really fun notebook. So I'm going to try to incorporate this in the following curriculum, as it's kind of, they have like a timeline thing as well. So I hope to do that. So this year was kind of a drag. I mean, I don't want to say it was a drag. I feel like we didn't accomplish a lot, but then we really did accomplish a lot. So this year's read-alouds, we actually accomplished a read-aloud year. Literally the best thing, I think, was our read-alouds, because we actually read books together. And I know you're like, oh my God, you don't read books with your kid. No. I'm not talking about picture books or things like that. We read all the time. But when it came to like huge chapter books that were like supposedly above her reading level that you're supposed to read with your kids, we always failed every year. So this year we did it. I nailed every single book but one, and there's a reason for that. I don't even have the book currently here, but I want to talk quickly on these. So we read the Wild Robot series. She loved it. I have reviews up on these, but they were pretty thick books, and we read them. We got through them. We loved them, and she cannot wait for the third one to come out. Trigger warning, or like warning for people. There is violence in these books of the Wild Robot, and there are guns, and there are some scenes where they're trying to kill. So if that is something that you're not wanting your kid to read, like, do not pick up the Wild Robot books. Otherwise, we pushed past that, and she was okay. She didn't get scared or anything, and it was fine. Next, we read The Secret Zoo. Loved The Secret Zoo. It is slightly slow of a book, but it is great. There are no pictures or anything, but it seemed like there was fairly short chapters, which if you read The Wild Robot, these are very short chapters too, which is really nice if you're doing this like a before bed and you only have time for like one chapter, but you don't want to sit there for like 25 minutes to read a chapter. It's going... Get these, because these are great. The Secret Zoo is really cute. We loved the suspense of trying to find one of the siblings and discovering this secret zoo. So that was a really fun read. Highly recommend. We also, like I said before, we read Poppy. This was with Moving Beyond the Page. It is a shorter book, but really loved Poppy. This is like a full circle nature book, and I'm talking like the life cycle of an animal kind of thing, from like the owl to the mice to all that, you know. So really loved it. There are lots in the series she's been reading on her own before fun, because she loved this so much. Next up, at Christmas time, we read The Christmas Pig, which was amazing. We finished this Christmas Eve, so it worked out perfectly for the month of December. This is a very big book. This is a J.K. Rowling book. It was our first J.K. Rowling book, actually. So it was really good. This is what the inside looks like. So the font is decent. It is, I mean, it's a big book. It's a big deal. She was able to read this to me well, and I, read some stuff as well. But really cute story. Really cute ideas in this story. Truly enjoyed it. We might have to read it every Christmas, but probably not, because I have a hard time rereading books. We also read another one, which we're literally a chapter away from finishing, but it is not near me right now. We are finishing up Pet Heist, which is our last book of this year, or this school year. Love Pet Heist. It is funny. I love that all the animals are like talking, and Pet Heist, so they come up with a heist, and it is hilarious. We are really enjoying Pet Heist, and that is an easy to read book as well. The chapters are a bit longer in that book, just forewarning. So overall, I think we had a decent year. I don't want to sit here and say we had the best year ever, but we finished it out. She did really well on her assessment, and I'm really looking forward to our 3rd grade year. We have lots to look forward to curriculum-wise. Our next year's word of the year is going to be fun. Any aspect of fun, I want to do it, even though I feel like it's a silly word to have. It's going to connect with fun and connection, because during this bout of her anxiety this year, our connection kind of wavered. And so I need the fun to bring back the connection. And I'm really, really excited about our upcoming year. I'm sure this video is a million times long, but I really just wanted to thoroughly talk about the curriculum that we did this year. I don't think I'm missing anything. I don't think I left anything out, but if you think that I might have, let me know and I can let you know how it went. But again, this is a great year. I can't believe I have a 3rd grader, and I can't believe that our 2nd grade year flew by as fast as it did. So that is it, my friends. Please check out the playlist down below. Thank you so much to Shauna and Davine for having this collaboration. I'm so interested to hear how everyone else's year went. And that is it. I will see you in my next video. Bye.